A Rockford man could spend years in prison. That's today's top story on this 11 a.m. Fastcast. 26-year-old Dion Jackson is found guilty of sexually assaulting a woman at a home in the 2100 block of Martha Avenue in November 2024. Jackson was released from prison and on probation before his arrest. Jackson is scheduled to be back in court May 26th and could be on supervision for the rest of his life when he finishes his sentence. Two Janesville women face several charges. In November 2025, city staff found alleged irregularities in the rent assistance program. Investigators would later name Rachel Jaquest and Alicia Alvarado as suspects. According to the city, both women were placed on administrative leave before resigning from their roles. Both women are scheduled to appear in court May 11th. The family of a woman who became comatose after her arrest sues the city of Evanston and its police officers. Felicia Williams' family says she's been under serious mental health issues and drug use. The city says officers were trying to arrest Williams. She would spit and later tried to bite them. Several officers had to hold her down, but at the time she is talking and breathing. Williams' family claims the city of Evanston violated the Freedom of Information Act, which allows citizens to get information from government agencies.
She can't do nothing. She's just staring. She has no awareness. We have to do everything for her. And even with me and my daughter going there and visiting her, just to see her in that stage, it's heart-rendering.
Lawyers for former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan urge a judge to overturn his conviction on bribery as well as other corruption charges. According to Capital News Illinois, Madigan's lawyers claim he did not agree to a specific action in exchange for ComEd hiring his political allies. Madigan is currently in 6 months of a 7.5-year prison sentence. Vice President J.D. Vance struck an optimistic tone as he headed to Pakistan Friday to lead the U.S. team in talks to end the war in Iran. The talks come as plumes of smoke could be seen along Lebanon's border. Iran insists the U.S. is violating the ceasefire by allowing Israel to continue strikes on Hezbollah targets there. Israel says it will open negotiations with Lebanon as early as next week. Iran's foreign minister says ships going through the Strait of Hormuz can coordinate with Iran's military to safely travel through the key waterway, but only 3 tankers passed through Thursday.
If the Iranians are willing to negotiate in good faith, we're certainly willing to extend the open hand. If they're going to try to play us, then they're going to find that the negotiating team is not that receptive. We're looking forward to the negotiation. I think it's going to be positive.
Rockford diesel prices finished the work week with another increase. According to AAA, the average gallon of diesel rose 5 cents to $5.30 per gallon. Gas prices did not see any changes as it currently sits at $4.27 per gallon. Illinois diesel prices also rose to 2 cents by 2 cents to $5.45 per gallon, and gas prices actually dropped a penny to $4.41 per gallon. Both Asian equities and oil prices rose Friday ahead of highly anticipated talks between the U.S. and Iran and Pakistan. Those talks could determine whether the Strait of Hormuz reopens to much-needed crude cargo. Oil prices has plummeted, and global stocks rose Tuesday after Trump announced a ceasefire. Since then, market moves have narrowed as investors await more details as well as potential movement of ships into the strait. Dish Network customers have lost access to WIFR since March 10th. That blackout is going to last until a renewal agreement is reached. Dish customers no longer have access to CBS programming, including WIFR, and Dish did demand a new provision which Gray says violated industry norms as well as federal law. Gray remains willing to strike a deal without controversial provision, but warns it may pursue legal action for those damages if the standoff continues. If you are a Dish customer, you can help make sure the shows and the news you love remain in the lineup by contacting them at 800-333-3474. And WIFR is always available for free if you use an antenna, and you can also see our newscasts by downloading our free streaming apps for Android, Roku, Fire, and Apple TV. And it certainly is a wet one out there this morning. Although that being said, things are actually drying up for us here this afternoon and this evening. That being said, definitely not going to want to be putting those umbrellas away because we have a wet week ahead. Let's take a look at our 10-day forecast out there right now. So as you can see here on our Friday, things are drying up here for us. Unfortunately, going to have a little bit of that cloud cover. That being said, we should be able to see a few peaks of some sunshine here as we continue on throughout the afternoon and into this evening. Moving on into our Saturday, though, 59 degrees for our high, and about a 50% chance for some rain there Saturday night. Moving into Sunday, though, definitely up in those chances for some storms. 74 degrees for our high, so getting a little bit warmer there. But again, that's when things are going to start to get a little noisy when it comes to the storm department. And then as you can see here on our Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we've got warm temperatures, but you can also see we've got that red bar there. That's to make sure to let you know that it is a first alert action day. So essentially what you're going to want to know is you're going to want to be weather aware for everything that's coming up here. We do have the potential for some strong to severe storms on all 3 of those days. Of course, like what our first alert weather team says all the time, the possibility of more of that sunshine coming in is only going to add to the strength of those storms. So depending on the cloud cover there is really when we're going to see what's really going to spell out for us across the state line in terms of severity. That being said, 78 for our high on Monday, 81 on Tuesday, and 71 on Wednesday. So certainly on those times where things aren't going to be wet out there or even noisy or thundering, lightning, definitely going to be sticky out there, going to be humid as well. Moving into our Thursday, though, 76 degrees, finally seeming to push away some of those severe chances of storms there. Only about a 20% chance for some rain there. Moving into our Friday, though, 63 degrees, bringing those storm chances back. And then as we move into next weekend, 55 for our high, 60 degrees for our high on Sunday. So definitely still seems like we're on a little bit of that winter weather, the weather roller coaster, at least when we're talking about our temperature department. Well, hey, now it's time for Sampling the State Line. That's where we highlight local restaurants across the state line. This time, we're heading to Machesney Park as Forrest Nelson visits the park's Samino's Kitchen.
Welcome back to Sampling the State Line. I'm here with Christy. She's a manager at the parks.
Hello, nice to meet everybody.
We've got a feast in front of us, but before we get to the feast, tell me your history and your story with the restaurant.
So the parks opened November of 2024. I've been here ever since we opened. We basically have boomed over the last year and a half of business. With our pizza, we have the Samino's Pizza. We franchise with Sam Samino out of Freeport Samino's. That's one of our big sellers. Our takeout is definitely taken off, especially with the delivery, Grubhub, DoorDash, Uber Eats. People come for our apps, our pastas, wraps, burgers, sandwiches. We've got a little bit of everything for everybody's taste.
Yeah, it's a very modern, casual Italian take on
absolutely.
An Italian sports bar almost.
Right, yes, and we do have 14 TVs, so we have all the stuff on. The March Madness has boomed for us. We've got great beer specials, wing specials, pizza specials during March Madness. Cubs games, and if anytime you want sound on for a game that you might be watching, just ask the bartender and they can flip it on for you.
With basketball and March Madness in the tournament, have you seen a big boom in attendance?
Yes, the very first couple of days we definitely doubled and tripled in our normal lunch sales, stuff like that, especially that Thursday, Friday of opening. And yeah, we've been doing great, and like I said, we've got a lot of diehard Illini fans coming in for the games, and then again, like I said, this weekend with Cubs games going on now, yeah, it's just been great.
Hey, me and my buddies were just talking like an hour ago. We're like, where should we go on Saturday? We want to watch the Illinois game.
You should come here.
Only one of the 3 of us went to Illinois. But I'm like, I think I know where we can go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big TVs and good food.
Big TVs, beer, wings, and buckets. Buckets of beer, wing specials, pizza specials.
Did see the specials. What are the specials and the prices you got?
During the games, we've got domestic buckets for $12. We've got dollar wings, bone-in or boneless, and we've got a 14-inch one-topping thinner classic crust pizza for $14.99.
I mean, I don't think you can beat that.
No, you can't.
I don't think you can beat it. And they're not paying me to say any of this. I just don't think you can beat that.
No.
I'm staring at the food. I'm getting hungry. But before we get to that, just one more thing. You guys did just win
Yes.
like an online.
Yes, so the All Things Rockford Pizza, we won the March Madness State Line Area Pizza Competition. Just won that on Saturday, and it's been great. It definitely, our takeout sales and dine-in sales have definitely reflected from that. We cannot be more thankful for Morgan, who runs that on that page. She's amazing, and we gave away some gift cards to some of the people who voted for us. So yeah, I mean, it's been awesome.
Yeah, it's cool to see the community come out and support you guys.
Yes, absolutely.
Being a newer business, competing with big names in the area. And Rockford's a very passionate pizza town.
They very much are. And I mean, we have Samino's Pizza, which has been a huge Rockford staple for the
True.
pizza industry as well. And we do uphold the standards for their pizza, the recipes, the fresh toppings, the fresh dough, the fresh sauce, freshly cut cheese every day. I mean, it's a great pizza. I mean, they've been around forever.
I'm about to see if that's true with this pizza. Boom Boom Shrimp, 5 Forest Nelsons out of 5. Meatballs, 5 Forest Nelsons out of 5. Pizza's looking like a 5 Forest Nelsons out of 5, but we'll get to that in a second. I'm destroying everything else first. To quote the great Peter Parker, it's pizza time. Oh, they're going to expect me to bring leftovers back to work, aren't they? I want the whole thing. I'll be a nice guy. It's 5 Forest Nelsons out of 5. It's awesome.
All right. Well, hey, that was Forrest Nelson reporting on that one. And make sure to join us here next week where we head to the place with a burger as big as your head. We are, of course, talking about Mr. C's over there in Rockford. That was a pretty fun one there. All right. Moving along here. We are about 12 days away from Earth Day, and the Winnebago County Clerk's Office is giving away free tree seeds that day. Residents will be able to get the seeds if they purchase a birth, death, or marriage certificate, or even applying for a marriage license. Those seeds are between 12 and 18 inches tall, and they make them easier to transport and plant when they are harvested. And we've been talking about this one here a lot over the last few days. The almost 9 days have passed here for the crew of the Artemis II, and they're on their mission making their way back home. Orion is expected to splash down in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of California just after 7 p.m. Central Time here today. The Orion capsule is set to re-enter Earth's atmosphere at about 30 times the speed of sound, heating up the spacecraft's exterior to more than 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, if the landing does go according to plan, WIFR will have coverage, and that'll be coming up here in our 10 o'clock show tonight. And hey, that is going to do it here for this Fastcast. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to join us coming up at noon. We've got Mike Garrigan filling in for Alyssa Kelly for WIFR News at noon. And you can also see him here right at the WIFR News Now desk for our 1 o'clock Fastcast. Thank you so much for watching.